Is no result.
Well, welcome back to Kate's Take. I'm Kate, and Taylor's here too, again. We tried to get a guest star. It didn't work. Maybe next time we can have one. The take today is the harsh reality of drinking after 21 and the miserableness of it.
I don't think it's necessarily miserable.
I think there's parts of it that are miserable.
Okay, why do you think it's miserable or gets described as such?
Because it literally took Aaron like until 4 p.m. today to even like halfway function.
So do you think that's a commonality? She is the norm?
I feel like regularly, yeah, like a lot of people. Well, I think it goes partially to like discipline of it, and like if I need to get up, I need to get up instead of spending the entire day doing nothing. But which like today we had the opportunity to do that. It didn't really matter. But like we drank a fair amount, but not that much.
Yeah.
And like I woke up and I was fine. Like my head hurt some, but that's probably because I haven't drank water for 3 days. So like some water, but not a lot of water for like 3 days. Like not like I normally do. So I'm like, that's probably why. And like I drink some water and I'm good to go. So I think that's why I had a headache this morning. But it was just like, we have got to get up and do something, anything.
So why do you think, like college kids, for example, I'm going to say drinking post-college instead of 21.
Yeah, post college.
So college kids, why do you think they only have like a single day kind of sickness and hangover as opposed to the stereotypical, I'm old and I'm broken for 3 days now?
I don't even know that like in college kids really have like a full day. Like they'll drink until 5 o'clock in the morning, take a nap, and then get up and drink again. And I've never been able to do that. Okay, they never quit drinking. They take a nap and just like hair of the dog, continue the drinking. And I'm like,
You wake up thirsty and you have beer around, so you grab a beer.
I've never personally been that way. Like I can understand just like I'm just gonna stay a little drunk forever.
Then you mix in hydrants, like hydration,
If you're
as
smart.
a mixer.
If you're smart, but
No, as a mixer, you use hydration.
yeah. Yeah. Well, and like hydrate in general if you're smart. But when I feel like a lot of kids that are in college, they don't think about the fact that like they don't do anything to help themselves beforehand, during, after. Like,
They do help themselves out a lot because they always end up at like Whataburger or Waffle House or
that's
IHOP.
true as far as like
And that
eating,
helps a ton. And then
eating wise.
you're
Yeah.
typically getting a soda or a water or something there, which gets something that's not alcohol related
Right.
into your body.
Right. Yeah. No, I think there's lots of things that, like, I don't know. College kids, I think too, they're like, no, we can just keep going because we're in college and like, this is what we're here for. Or just like that age of kids, whether it's college or trade school or like whatever you're doing, like that age of kid is just like, we're going to party and party and party. And I'm just like, I'm
But-
down to go out and like have fun and do things. My personality is also very black and white. So in like with almost everything, so in my mind there's very little gray area. So if people are like, we're going to go out and drink, I'm like, I'm either drinking nothing or everything. So that's part of what, like when we went last night, I was like, I like drink nothing, like I'll have like a drink. And then it was like tequila shot, Chilton, tequila shot. Some random margarita showed up, tequila shot. And then we tried to make a Baja Blast. Like Erin and I were talking about this morning. She's like, we're going to figure out that Baja Blast recipe, but not today.
Oscar wouldn't let me experiment. I was disappointed.
I know, he's a buzzkill
I
sometimes.
was ready to go. Like I had an idea in my head.
Well, the problem is you can't put pineapple juice in it. Well, I mean you can, but I can't have it if there's pineapple juice in it because it'll make my throat swell shut.
What? Okay, so what about like Malibu?
Malibu,
That's more coconut.
Yeah, it's more coconutty. It would be fine. Like just straight up pineapple juice. Even if it's probably like a pineapple liquor, I would probably be fine. But like pineapple juice itself.
Yeah, that's what they get though is pineapple. Like that's what
Yeah.
helps turn it. especially on the Baja side of things.
Yeah, that's the problem. I don't know how that guy made it when we were at the Biscuit Bar, but it was fantastic.
Probably had actual Mountain Dew, like Oscar was saying. Like y'all were yelling.
Yeah, I was like, freaking Mountain Dew. What did he tell us? Bring me Mountain Dew.
Bring a Mountain Dew and I'll make it.
Bring him. No, he had a second ingredient.
Blue Powerade.
The freaking cricket keeps going off. Sorry, there goes the squirrels. Yeah, Blue Mountain Dew and Jesus, Blue Powerade and Mountain Dew
Blue Mountain Dew
and Powerade.
and Powerade.
Yeah.
Decent.
He was like, I need the Baja Blast Mountain Dew to make. I'm like, no, homie didn't have that. I don't even know if he had actual Mountain Dew. Like, I'm pretty sure he used club soda, and the only, like, there's Blue Crocker in it. But the only reason there's Blue Crocker in it was to make it a little bit blue. But it was the actual, like, last night, it was way too blue. This is totally off subject of what we were talking about, but I guess it's part of it. And the fact that once you get older, you're like, no, I'm going to drink something that actually tastes good.
And you want to Walter White it.
Yeah.
Like, big time.
Yeah. So, yeah, Oscar is the bartender at this bar that we go to, restaurant deal that we go to all the time. And so we're trying to convince him to make this. And Taylor was like, yes, I can make it. Let me do it. And Oscar obviously can't let him do that because it's his job. But, yeah. And after, like, I bartended for a while, and after you bartend yourself, I think even more so, you want to be like, I can concoct this so that it tastes delicious. So when somebody else is like, no, I'll just do it. And then you're like, well, you did it wrong again. So I think we can do it. I just think it's going to take some experimenting to figure it out.
Yeah.
But I don't think you need actual Mountain Dew.
No, you don't.
And I also think that it was a vodka drink. I don't think that it was rum.
A rum?
Yeah, I don't think that it was a rum.
I could see it
to be
being
honest.
either or, though.
Yeah, I could too. Or like a combination of the two.
Mm-hmm.
But
Because you definitely need the sweetness from the Mountain Dew in there.
well, that's like, I think that it was probably club soda, a little bit of Blue Crocker, but it made it like a really, really light blue.
Mm-hmm.
And then some simple syrup.
That's where you're getting the sweetness
Yeah.
from.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that he put some. Now I'm like trying to think about it. I'm like sitting at the bar, like watching him make this. Like over a year ago, I'm like, okay, think about this. What did he put in the cup? But I'm pretty sure it was simple syrup, club soda, a little bit of Blue Crocker, and then like you'd have to put some other kind of liquor in it because that's not. It might have been a rum. But like other than Malibu, I feel like it wasn't Malibu though. I feel like it was just a vodka. Now I want to go get the stuff and make it.
Let's run it back. We got a day off.
Right? We have a day off. Yep. No, we're not cut. Just kidding. The problem with that drink though is it has a lot more sugar in it. So then you feel worse the next day.
Sugary drinks are a
especially
negative.
If you're older.
I also think a big thing that helps out college kids too is
Yeah.
they sleep till noon.
Facts. They sleep through the
Like-
hangover.
We were up till 4,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
up and going at 7:30.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ready to
like
go.
you took a nap.
Yeah, took a
essentially.
quick little nap, and
Yeah.
I felt fine.
Yeah.
But it was definitely one of those deals where if I was back in school,
Mm-hmm.
I would have slept till noon, 1 o'clock, gotten up, and then
Yeah.
it is time to go again. You get something quick to eat. You can't get breakfast anywhere, so you're eating lunch. Lunch food
Yeah.
always leads into a beer, which leads into partying again, and let's keep it
just
going.
Continue. Yeah, pretty much. But with college kids where they just sleep through they're like, oh, I never get hungover. I'm like, that's because you're not awake for it.
Yeah, and they also, I think the big thing is they keep going.
Yeah.
Like, they,
I can't
instead
imagine
of us
just
hitting
being
a point
drunk for 30 days.
where we're sitting there talking, and it's like, oh, okay, we're all sober now, I'm falling asleep.
Yeah. Like,
They're over
get
there
me to
going
my
like-
recliner.
Okay, here we go. Let's go get food.
Yeah.
He's sober enough to drive, I think. If not,
Sober enough.
here it is.
Not a good idea.
Not a good idea.
Not a good
Do
idea.
not drink and drive.
Do not even kind of do that.
Never.
But, yeah, no, college kids are dumb, though.
And old people are like, I don't want to spend any more money.
Yeah.
I want to stay in. I don't want to.
Yeah,
have
why
to
don't
get
listen? Can we
out."
just drink at home and start at like 5 so we can be done by 8 and go to bed before 9? Yeah, that's
Yeah,
why I'm.
go hard in the paint for 3 hours and be done.
That's why I'm all about. Yeah, that's what we tried to do last night, and obviously it didn't work. But that's why I'm all about day drinking. Like, go to brunch, start then, and day drink. Then you just go to bed at like 6. What?
Yeah, so the issue with day drinking is you don't stop at any point in time. Whenever I was back in college, we were doing a Super Bowl party, and I was making pulled pork tacos for mass distribution.
Right.
Got up at 7,
Yep.
cracked open the first beer at 7:01,
Yep.
and
Just have it on your nightstand so it was a warm beer.
no, it was in the fridge. It doesn't take me any
Just had
time
to
to get
run.
out of bed and get to the fridge. But yeah, so started drinking immediately.
Yeah.
And by the time kickoff happened, I went through a significant amount of Lone Stars because I was a college kid and broke. So Lone Star was the beer choice.
Keystone. The best beer is a free beer.
Yeah, OP.
Yeah.
Other people's.
Yeah.
But yeah, went through a lot of Lone Star, and then pulled pork got done. My buddy was over there trying to help me. Also sloshed. I was seeing 3 forks, and they're trying to shred that stuff.
You're
And
like, I'm shredding so fast. I have so many extra
Yeah.
forks.
he ended up burning the crap out of his hand because he was holding the pan for me, and about 400-degree liquid would splash onto his hand
Oh my
constantly. Shout out Bronson. Happy birthday today, bud. Hope you and your little family's doing good.
Right? Yeah.
If you ever want to run it back,
yeah.
just head back up here.
Yep. We can put you on the pod.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the problem. Like, I'm not big on like as soon as you wake up drinking, I'm like, I've got to like get going for the day. But if you like wake up, get ready, go to brunch, I'm all about brunch drinking because then you can be done. Or like if you go really hard, you have like you just go to bed. But if you're just like right there mediocre, right in the line of having fun, being a little drunk but not, then you just take a nap, get back up, and then you guys can go back out to dinner. Like round 2.
See, I'm here for the breakfast burritos.
Yeah,
They're Michelob Ultras,
I'm here for that.
and it's 7 a.m. tea time.
Yeah.
And we have breakfast burritos all morning. Get a quick snacky snack for lunch, and then it's time to go again in the afternoon.
I think drinking just changes a lot when you get older. How you drink.
Yeah, it's more so, like you said, drinking for a taste instead
Yeah.
of drinking to get drunk. It's more so, I actually like the taste of this now.
Right.
I'm going to enjoy this.
Mm-hmm.
And then the slower you drink, that's whenever the sleepies hit. Because if you party hard, you don't get sleepy. If you're slowly going, you
Yeah.
get the sleepies.
Well, and like we talked about too, when we were like, oh, we go find something fun to do tonight. Like, but there's nothing to do in Canyon or Amarillo. And like, well, like, I guess we could go to Guitars because it's a Saturday night, but no. So like,
Yeah.
like I would way rather sit here and chill, like either at home or like a low key bar or whatever, instead of go out and be like, oh my gosh, but if you go to Guitars, you can get $2 vodka sodas, and I'm like, yeah, but like, yuck.
Yeah, and it's the cheapest of cheap liquor that's going to hurt you so much.
Yeah, and it's the fact that like, first of all, I don't want to drive to Amarillo. Second of all, I don't like the alcohol, the atmosphere, the people, all of it. Just yuck, pass.
Yeah, we just forget how to be kids and what it was like to be like, hey, screw it. Let's just go. Let's go do it without thinking beforehand. Now you start thinking, and I think that's why the brain hurts too.
Yeah, yeah. That's why we get headaches. We're
Yeah.
like, we had to think through this because we were like, that's not a good option. And
Don't know if I want to go up there. or not.
financially, that, ooh, yeah.
Yeah, $4 beers. I'll just stop at the beer barn
Yeah.
and pick up a 30-pack and still have plenty left over the next day.
Exactly. And you can get a snack.
See, I'm a man on a mission. Whenever I go on a beer run, it's just straight beer. No snacks, no stopping, no nothing.
I guess I can't really because I don't go on beer runs because I don't drink beer. So. I just don't like it. It tastes like you're drinking a loaf of bread. And then you're like really full and bloated and gross, and like I can have like one. And I don't even like it. How am I going to drink something if I don't like it?
See, I don't get bloated. You just got to let the air out.
Okay. I just like, I don't know. I've never had a beer that I like the taste of either. So that's why I would rather drink liquor than beer. So
I love beer.
you left the Dos Equis in my fridge, by the way.
I did.
Yeah.
I wasn't about to take that because if I got
Facts.
pulled over with an open box, no
Facts.
matter like how sober I was when I was leaving, if I had an open
Yeah.
box
At 4:00 in the morning.
with some missing, that's not happening.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to be dumb.
That's the only thing that I forgot.
And it's not like we don't see each other
Right.
ever.
I can just bring it next week. Or you're in Canyon literally like 12 times a week, so.
Chill. I hate it. Can't wait till I move back. Amarillo is lame.
It just blows my mind. Like, I guess in college, I didn't really think about the fact that there is not a whole lot to do in Amarillo. Like, there's some stuff, right? Like, Synergy is pretty cool if you remember that it's there, but there's no real places, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong and send me suggestions, but there's no place to just go, like, chill, or, like, in Austin, there was the Punch Bowl Social, so there's, like, bowling and cornhole, and you can get, like, card games, and they have all these different drinks and snacks, and, like, there's a bunch to do, like, all at one place, even, and so that's the part of Amarillo that sucks, is there's literally, like, I'm not gonna go to downtown and go to Chesney's every weekend.
Yeah, or go to 6th Street because that's such a long drive back to get where you're going back to Canyon.
Yeah.
That drive's stupid ridiculous. And
Yeah.
it's not even fun to make from my house over
Yeah.
to there.
Yeah.
We
Well,
have hung out at Synergy several times, or at least I have.
Yeah.
And Synergy's just too expensive. Like, Cordovez was cool whenever they had their beer of the month going,
Yeah.
but now that's gotten too expensive.
Yeah,
I
again,
think that's what it is. I think it's the money that keeps old people from
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I
go absolutely
definitely.
crazy, or at least people our age.
Yeah. Yeah. Once you're out of college and like you have the full, I feel like even if you're in college and you have the full-time job and like you're paying for stuff on your own, you're still just like, I'm a college student. Like, I'm a party. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that with my buddies.
And your expenditures are far less.
Yeah.
Like, typically,
Yeah.
rent and stuff as a college kid is significantly cheaper
Yeah.
than, whenever you get on your own and you're paying for a duplex for yourself,
Right.
or you have a
Yeah.
mortgage now, and your
home
vehicles
insurance and renter's insurance and vehicle insurance and all the
and your
maintenance.
vehicle's usually paid for. We're out of college. That's
Yeah.
usually a big first time expenditure.
Yeah.
So, yeah, money
it's a
doesn't go
money
near as
thing.
far
It's a
as
money.
it did.
Yeah, I completely agree. And even if you're willing to spend the money, like I know people too that like they're willing to spend the money, like they're willing to go out and everything. Like I had a friend in Austin, her and her friends went out nonstop, but like when her and I would talk about it, she's like, yeah, it's fun, but like bottle services are really expensive and I would way rather just like hang out and chill. Like I go because they want to go, but then so I feel like even like at our age, you don't necessarily want to go, but you still, because your schedules are so crazy, you want to be able to spend time with those people. So you go and end up spending the money, and then you're like, oh, crap, like I needed to not spend all of that.
And it's also the same scene that we've already lived through for 4 or 5
Yeah.
years. So
Yeah.
you're just going back to it where change your scenery, where it is chill.
Yeah.
You aren't having to sit there and fight to get the bartender's attention to get a drink. You aren't
Yeah. Well,
sitting
and like
here bumping
Austin,
into people, having to yell to talk to each other.
yeah, and Austin was a little different in that, like, scene wise, like, you could find a different scene all the time, but especially here and like coming back here, it's the same, like, 2 places, it's the same 3 places, it's the same, swear to God, it's the same people. Like,
Yeah.
so if you're like, no, you know what, and I feel like once you get older, you want to protect your peace a lot more. And you're like, I'm not gonna go out here because if I'm being honest, like I don't really like the people. Or, like the people that are gonna be there. So you're like, I'm gonna stay at home. Like Aaron's gonna be there, Taylor's gonna, X, Y, or Z, whoever it is gonna be there because those are the people that I actually enjoy. You're not willing to waste your time or your money as far as like events and stuff like that go.
Yeah.
As you get older.
I see that. I definitely see that. What blows my mind, though, is how people can get older, get our age, and I'm
Yeah.
a little older than you, but
Yeah.
still, they're our age, and
I
they
still
don't
feel
know,
like I'm 90 though.
have no idea how to handle a hangover. Like, whenever it happens,
Yeah.
they have no idea how to treat it, and they just
Yeah.
sit in the suck
Yeah.
of it, and I'm like,
Which, like, you can embrace the suck by all means if you want your life to be hard, but there's a lot of things that make your life easier. Like, first of all, if you feel like you can throw up,
do it.
throw up. It's going to be better for you in the long run.
Eat some food.
Yeah.
Especially whenever you, before and after, eat some food.
Before you go to bed, drink a water. One of my buddies that lives in Fort Worth, the gal I was dating at the time, would give them, like, he'd come back with a bunch of his buddies, super drunk, and they'd be rambunctious. And she's like, don't you think that Tylenol is a good idea? Like ibuprofen, guys? And they're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, she would also give them melatonin. So they would get the ibuprofen, which is good for you. And then they would get the melatonin. So they immediately are just like zonked. So
I'm
that
pretty sure that could be illegal.
that is,
That sounds like some Bill Cosby stuff, minus the second half of what Cosby did.
I think it's a fantastic, but I also, like, I used to go get my brother's buddies all the time, and I'm like, that, I wish I knew that then. Like, that's genius. Because especially if you're the sober person dealing with everyone else who's drunk, like, if you haven't been drinking at all, you're like, for the love of God, like, we need to be done. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. Y'all are still running in circles. Like, we need to be done. So I feel like that's
It also
justified.
sounds like you need to join the party if you are that sober one.
Yeah, well, if it's all the time, yes, you should join the party. If it's once in a while, then,
Yeah.
whatever. Which she only did that once, but I found it really entertaining when she did. But then again, like, she also was like, drink this whole cup of water before you go to bed. And then when you get up, drink water, go get some food, some starches. Like, your body needs fuel to freaking recover. Like, yeah. Yeah. So,
And it's amazing what food will do.
yeah.
And greasy food. Like eating clean whenever you're hungover.
Yeah, don't go get some freaking
Doesn't do it.
broccoli.
Don't eat fruit.
Idiot.
Like, no,
Fruit snacks? Yeah.
not even. Like,
I mean,
this-
like, that's not your best option, but immediately, like, this morning, I was, like, trying to hand out Rice Krispie treats. I'm like, here you go.
like biscuits and gravy.
Yeah.
Or huevos rancheros. Like,
Actually,
let's rock and roll.
the smothered fajitas from Joe Taco, that is a very popular hungover dish.
Yeah. Mine's Panda Express. Like, if I ever go really hard in the paint
Yeah.
and I wake up at 11,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, here we go.
Here
I'm
we go,
dropping a
Panda
20 piece
Express.
at Panda.
Yep.
I'm going to get so
Yeah.
much food that about a quarter of it won't be eaten.
Yeah.
But I'm
But-
going to eat that. Then I'm going to go back to sleep. Then I'm going
Yeah.
to wake up and I'm going to feel
Eat
great.
some more of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel great.
Yeah. Like, hydrate and then get some caffeine in your system to just get, like, everything.
Shake off the cobwebs.
Yeah.
It rinses it out.
Get you moving again. Some caffeine, whether you're like a coffee person or if it's an energy drink or like by all means take a scoop of pre-workout. I don't care, but you have got to like get yourself. I think it's better to, even if it's miserable for like 10, 15 minutes, to get up and get moving. Like you're saying, go get some food, get something to drink. Like you don't have to set the world on fire, but like get up a little bit and do something
Instead of sitting there,
and
Kinda-
wallowing in it.
yeah, with
Mm-hmm.
the symptoms of it, making sure everything's nice and dark. You
Yeah.
aren't moving, making sure the sounds, like, it's real quiet.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get out. Go beat your
And-
head against a dump truck. See how you feel.
And electrolytes, like liquid IV is wild. If you drink liquid IV like before,
Before you go to sleep.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's so crazy because it takes all of those toxins that you just put in your system and flushes them out. But liquid IV for sure, or like some type of electrolyte something or other. But then as I'm like sitting here and we're talking about this, I'm like, dang, we sound so old. Like, make sure you drink your water and eat your food.
We
And,
were
like,
saying the same thing whenever I was in high school, though. Like,
yeah,
me and all
that's-
my buddies were like, okay, we're doing this, but we're all helping each other out with this. Is tonight
Well-
we're doing XYZ and we're
Yeah.
gonna have it ready to go.
well,
So
even
that way the next morning isn't that bad.
yeah, like even in high school, when I would go get those boys, I would feed them top ramen or pancakes, like pancakes this big as your face. And they obviously they're not gonna eat them all. Pancakes are cheap to make, but they would eat the majority of them, and then the next morning they're up like ready to rock and roll. So like no matter how hard they went, like if they would eat just a little bit for me, then they would be way better off the next day.
Yeah, and food. I'm a big proponent on food
Yeah. But I also feel like,
and starches.
yeah, I also
Big
feel
time
like
starches.
too, on the whole, like, you were doing this in high school anyway, like take care of yourself, drink your water, do your food, whatever. I also feel like it's an old soul thing.
Yeah, but there was a group of 10 of us to 15 of us
Yeah.
that would make sure everyone was taken care of. And it was like kind of your brother's keeper kind
Yeah.
of deal.
Yeah.
With that. And then college came around
Yeah.
and we would just eat and we'd wash down our Whataburger with a beer in the parking lot
Yeah.
and do that. And we just kept drinking alcohol
Yeah.
instead of
Yeah.
actual hydrating liquids.
Good for you things.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes we had Keystone. We called that water.
It basically is.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's bottom of the barrel.
exactly.
It's the foam at the end. But it's fine. It gets different when you get older, I guess. You're like, and it's not as it's not as exciting when people are like, hey, you want to go out and party? You're like, and hear me out here, we could go eat a decent meal, have some drinks, but not per se party. Like, to me, I would way rather go do that than like, hey, you want to go to a house party? I'm like, I'm probably going to see a lot of people I don't like. And everyone is going to be acting a fool because they're drinking way more than they should, which, like, do your thing. Non-judgmental at all, do your thing. I'm just don't want to necessarily deal with people I don't enjoy to begin with and then them drunk on top of that. So I'm like, instead of a house party, what if we just had dinner and drinks?
And then we play a game.
And then play a game.
Go to bed at 10:30.
Yeah. Yeah. No harm, no foul. You can still get up at 6, do your thing, go lift, mow the lawn, whatever. And then those homies are just like, we're dying. I'm like, well, it's because you didn't drink any liquids and you drank way too many alcohols with no food and you drank until 5 o'clock in the morning. Stupid.
Yeah, but I do miss doing that at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's that bittersweet feeling of,
Yeah.
I don't want to do that again, but those nights were a ton of fun.
Oh, yeah. I have
Especially whenever you don't remember half of it
Yeah.
and you get filled in on the stories.
You're like,
afterwards,
I
you're like,
did what?
Here we go.
All right,
Yeah,
fam. Like,
sweet. Here we go. I
Yeah.
was a genius.
yeah. I honest to God haven't had very many, like, I can count on one hand the times that I've been like blackout, can't remember things. But it's never been like at a bar.
No, it's always at somebody's house.
It's at somebody's
house
house
party.
or like the shop or whatever. Like you're in a safe place.
Environment where you can just cut loose.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And you're also feeling safe and you're having a good time, so you don't realize how much you're drinking either.
Or someone else is mixing your drinks for, like, one of your buddies is mixing your drinks and they're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 shots.
Who counts? I just look for the line on the glass, and as I get drunker, the line
The line
wobbles,
just moves up.
so it keeps moving up. Because
When
my
you're-
reactions are way
if
slower.
you're a bartender, you like always count.
Yeah.
Even like subconsciously, as you're pouring, you're just like, okay, what? Like, that's why I count. But yeah, I would not. 10 out of 10. I would not rather go like party hardy. I would rather go eat some decent food, get some decent drinks, because I'm more at the point now where, old soul wise, I would rather just sit and enjoy people's company instead of, like you're saying, having to yell over each other to hear each other and you're like all crammed shoulder to shoulder. Like, that's fun maybe every once in a while. I went to a concert in San Marcos that was that way. And I'm standing in like puddles of beer and everyone is shoulder to shoulder and pushing and I can't hear the person standing next to me. And I'm like, maybe when did I enjoy this? Like, this isn't fun. And then, like, I feel like, too, at our age, you don't want to spend the money to go just, like, drink around. But when you do go to stuff like that, like, in that moment, I was like, this, like, $10 ticket was cool. But the venue that it was at, they had, like, rafter kind of suites. It was like a mosh pit kind of thing that you went down into. So they had, like, rafter type suites kind of things where you could watch from up there. I'm like, this is, like, why am I down...
That would have been way cooler.
Why am I down here and not up there? Like I would rather spend the money to enjoy the concert and the experience and be up there drinking and having fun with the people that I actually care about instead of being down in the mosh pit and like you can't hear anyone. Like there wasn't even enough room to dance. Like
Yeah.
we're all just standing here like
Listening
Not a fan.
and like screaming.
Yeah.
Because we're excited, but we don't know what we're screaming to.
yeah.
I've always been that way though, where I'd rather be like up and away from a crowd. I'm a notorious people watcher too.
Yeah.
So that's my funny games in
Right.
sport. Bye, Clay.
Bye,
Um,
Clay. I think the only time that I've been like in, especially like concert situation, where I've like had a lot of fun, like being in that huge group, is when I went to Rio Frio Fest because it was like 3 days worth of music and it was a bunch of big names. And it was just like one right after another. And there was room to dance if you wanted to get out and dance. But the other thing was too, is like if you're standing at the front, you're standing like 10 feet away from Co Wetzel and Reed Southall's band and Shane Smith and the Saints, Chris Colston. Like there were a bunch of guys there that, but I had also never listened to Texas country because I hadn't been in Texas for very long. So I didn't really know any of these guys at that point in time. And you know, everybody freaking loves Co Wetzel. So
Boo.
yeah. So
Definition of mid right there.
yeah. Yeah, they like they were all excited and like yelling for Co to get on and I'm like, okay, like who's Co? And then I saw like the guinea pig post of him standing in the Walmart parking lot. Like I woke up with a guinea pig named Sierra and I'm just like, who is this guy and why are you making him an idol? Like
See, what I saw was, you know, you've heard of Elf on a Shelf?
yeah.
Well, it was a picture of Cole Wetzel and a pretzel. And he's riding a pretzel like it's a buck and bronc.
That's really
That
funny.
was really good. And it took me a second or two to get there.
Wetzel on a pretzel.
Yeah.
That's good. That's funny. Anyway, I think that's the only time probably that I have enjoyed like being in that like mosh pit situation, everybody drinking, whatever. But also on that trip, we ended up at what was called the beach. And they decided there's probably 300 people along this riverbank. And they decide that they're going to do beer showers. And it's like 11 a.m. So I'm like, beer showers, like, oh, like, whatever. Like, I was young too. So I was like, oh, like, this happens. Because I'd like been at multiple parties where they're like, beer showers. And I'm like, idiots. And I was like, oh, whatever. Like, it lasts like 2 minutes, right?
And then
No.
No. It lasts forever, and then you're stinky and you
Sticky.
sticky,
And like, your
stinky,
hair is
just-
crunchy.
I
and
wouldn't know.
No, you wouldn't, but it's Taylor's bald for those of you following along. Chooses by choice. Anyway, the thing was I was like, oh, whatever, like yeah, like my hair will get crunchy or sticky or gross or whatever. But it didn't stop. And everyone was already so drunk. This was like day 2 of the music festival thing. And they didn't stop and they started throwing full beer cans, beer bottles, full handles of Tito's, like full glass jugs. And I'm just like, somebody is gonna die. Like, they started throwing empty coolers around. And I'm like, you know, if you're into this thing, cool. Like, do your thing. But me, I'm gonna go sit with the retired people that come to this every year for entertainment on their deck. And watch all of the chaos from a distance.
Yeah, and see, we are old
Yeah.
because, I mean, I remember getting an invite. You actually partook in a Wine Wednesday where you're just sitting there with two grandmothers.
With Nanny and Faye. Yeah. Yeah.
And I was doing something, naturally.
Yeah.
I was busy.
Yeah. Probably driving to Canyon. That would be my guess. In all honesty, that you were driving to Canyon for something. No, you still lived in Canyon. Didn't you? I'm pretty sure you lived in Canyon. Anyway.
I was just letting it be silent.
Yeah.
Seeing what you were going to say.
I know. I really appreciate that. Love it when you do
Just
that.
let the brain get going, see
Yeah.
what comes out.
Yeah. No, all the squirrels. They're not working as hard today because they're running on not very much sleep. But
Not very much. You slept in.
I know, but it's been like a week of not sleeping, and I'm like, I need to go to bed early so I can get up early, get back on my retirement schedule here. Like, I got done working in Austin and came back, and I'm like, I have no idea what to do with myself because I like hadn't started school yet. Taylor's like, you're retired. You're literally like, you wake up at a stupid time in the morning, you go to the gym, you come back, and then you sit on the porch and read your book. Like you're retired.
Yeah, she has the lifestyle right now to where she could be going out on benders
Yeah.
every night. But
Yeah.
she counts her freaking microscopes and all this bodily intake and everything else.
He's
to
talking
where
about macros for those of you following along or trying to.
I can only have this half a shot of Tito's, and it has to be mixed with club soda, non-sweetened, because I can't go over on yada, yada, yada intake because I've already had half a bagel
It's carbs.
and one little scoop of cream cheese. So I can't go over this for the day.
Were you done now?
Yeah, I eat food and I feel great, and it's just me.
I did too. I like the problem was like I wasn't eating enough, and like thank God I wasn't like going on benders at that point in time because I could barely function. But I wasn't eating enough, so like it's better now. I just also didn't have an appetite. But we ate quesadillas last night, and that was a good idea because I also ate them for breakfast this morning. I put them in the air fryer. Again, people,
That's what-
if you drink, eat food.
And those calories don't count either, or whatever
There's
they
just-
are that you count. Hungover, whatever macro
Yeah,
calories, all that.
macronutrients.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all that crap. It don't count if you're drunk or hungover.
Yeah. Well, plus it's Sunday, so those calories belong to the Lord.
And I absolutely love hungover and drunk food. And
Yeah.
like the feeling right after eating said food, because if you're sober eating it, it's not as good and you feel kind of like trash.
It's mid? Is that how you use that?
No.
Oh, I tried.
No, it is. I just don't want to give you the
I
satisfaction.
was like, that sounds like a situation that would be mid.
Yeah.
Eating hungover food sober.
Yes.
Normally, I would never go get chicken nuggets from McDonald's. Ever. Like,
You pain
I
my
know.
fat self. I'm a professional fat ass over here.
I know.
And you're sitting in daggers right now.
I also don't ever eat fast food. So that's part of it is I don't, like it's in, back to the money thing. I don't want to spend money on fast food.
And see, I'm over here thinking about, Panda Express whenever we get done with this.
Mm-hmm.
Casa de Waffle. Like,
Yeah, it's not Waffle House, it's Waffle Home.
Casa de Waffle.
If you want to say it that direction too.
Yeah. We don't know
Yeah.
what that is from up on the trail, so
Yeah.
I'm just going to say Waffle Home.
Yeah. It's a lot like, it's IHOP, but all you can order is waffles. No, that's not true. You can order other stuff, but it's basically an IHOP. Denny's?
It's Waffle House.
Well, like for the people up north.
Wait, that's not...
No, there are no Waffle Houses up north.
Oh, it's an experience.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to go down this rabbit hole. A year ago, we were in Dallas.
Yeah.
And we had one of our Bronson's little brother. He's 16 years old at the time. He was playing his first show.
Mm-hmm.
And me and Coop, Cooper's a fiddle player, played with Shane Smith and,
Yeah.
and the Saints. Really good fiddle player, played with a lot of big guys.
Yeah.
Toured with Kyle Park this summer. And me being like his little groupie, I guess.
Yeah.
I get tagged along, got dragged into bars, got
Yeah.
to meet all these people. So,
Which is super fun.
yeah. So I've lived that life of
Yeah.
Thursday through Saturday. I'm in a bar, and it's great. And I'm drinking free. I
Yeah.
got in for free.
Well, that's the difference too. Is if you're gonna go somewhere and there's no money involved, even at our age, you're like, let's go.
Let's turn up. So
Yeah.
that's what we were doing. And Ty played drums. Obviously, he didn't drink because he was 16.
Yeah.
Um,
You're like, I'll drink his portion of the beer. It's fine.
we did. He got
Yeah.
a band tab, and I was a resident band alcoholic at that time. So, yeah, I partied on, and
It's a
we
good
were
time.
sitting there talking about he had never been to Waffle House. Lived in Texas his entire life.
The kid?
Not the kid, Ty.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He'd never been to Waffle House. We were like, oh, dude, we're rolling here.
have to go.
It's 2 a.m.
Yeah, it is.
We're over here, like, kind of by
Yeah.
the stockyard, so
Yeah.
you know it's going to be
Yeah.
getting lit. We're going to get a corner table. We
There's
aren't
gonna be
making
some
it back
shit
to the
kickers
house till
there.
the sun comes up. Like, that's whenever we're leaving.
Jeez.
And so we get there, and we're sitting there, and we're telling him all the entire time there. You know, it's a completely different experience based upon the time of day you go
Yeah.
and if you're drunk or sober.
Yeah. There's no point in going to Waffle House in the daylight.
Unless if it's really cold and it's for lunch. Like, froze over days, you go into a Waffle House for lunch, it's great.
Ooh, I've never done that, but I can like the vibe of it. I'm like, that makes a lot of
It's
sense.
phenomenal. We used to run that play at Eads all the time whenever
Yeah.
it was just frigid.
Go to the one off Hollywood.
Yep. We'd roll up there for lunch and drink probably 15 pots of coffee
That's fantastic.
between us. But we roll up and we're telling him, you know, it's completely different. You got the time and sobriety level here.
Yes.
You got prime time, but you aren't drunk,
Right.
nor are you going to be drunk. So
Right.
just kind of sit back, take it in,
Big
have a good
chill.
time.
Yeah.
We get in there, we sit down, and he's actually reading the menu.
You're like, give me that old store.
Yeah, exactly. We're like, the hell are you doing? He's like, I really think I want the steak sandwich. No,
Waffle.
no. Yeah. And our waiter walks up.
I
He's
get a
like,
pecan waffle.
he's standing here and he's going, steak? No. This is your first time here, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah, it is. Are you drunk or sober? And he goes,
That's
I'm
awesome.
sober. Well, it's a completely different experience where if you're drunk, just sit back, take it all in. You're getting the all-star.
Yeah. That's
You're
right.
just
Give me
sort of
that
like,
all star.
Let's go.
Yeah.
But everybody knows.
Yeah. It's definitely like we tried to. The last time actually we went to downtown Amarillo and we went to Chesney's and that arcade bar and everything. For whatever reason, they didn't want to go to Waffle House. They wanted to go to IHOP.
Ugh.
And I was like,
White people.
okay. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, fine. Because it was right down the road, I think. And that's why somebody else
Yeah,
wanted
it's right off I-40.
Not true. You want to know the reason we wanted to go is that one person in the crew was sober and that's what they wanted to eat instead of Waffle House. And I was like, okay. But anyway,
Were you that sober person?
no. I
Oh.
No, I was not.
You were about to get a whole lot of judgment.
No, I know. No, I wasn't the sober one. But it was like a 45-minute wait at 1:00 in the morning. And I'm like, I just want to go home.
Yeah, that's the thing about IHOP is it's always understaffed. It takes forever to sit down. It takes forever to get
There
a
were
drink.
like two servers or
It
like
takes
two
forever
people.
to get your food. Waffle House, you go in and you just sit down.
They just pick where you sit.
And homegirl's going to walk up to you and talk to you. And
Some-
if she doesn't, you could be like, hey,
Some old lady with a cigarette hanging out of her mouth is going to be like, what can I get for you? And you're like, all star. And she's like, all right. And then walks off.
this is going to be really disgusting. But I only like grits if they're Waffle House grits. And I swear it's because they have cigarette ash in it.
Yeah.
Or just like,
There's something.
you know, it's something
Yeah.
in the air or
Yeah.
whatever it is that they cook it with that makes it so much better
Yeah.
than like if I make grits at home
Yeah.
or like if my grandma makes grits.
Yeah.
No.
No, won't eat them.
Mm-mm. It's not the same. But it is.
The whole vibe when you walk in there too is like you walk in and that's the reason you can't like it's not that you can't go in there sober, but that's the reason you shouldn't go in there sober the first time because you walk in and you're like,
Ugh.
people eat here?
And enjoy it.
People, yeah. Like this is
This
is where people choose to
This
eat.
is the hype train.
Yeah. Yeah, because it smells like cigarettes. It's not very clean. Like the whole method is just like sit wherever you want. There are booths. They're all booths. The menus are literally like plastered on the table. And so but yeah, you definitely have to have had something to
And
drink.
they have a
or
jukebox right in the middle.
yeah.
And there's always a fight that breaks out
Yeah.
over what style of songs
Yeah.
being played.
Yeah. Or you either have to go there drunk or the only way to go there sober is if you've been there drunk before.
Yeah.
And you understand the experience. Otherwise, you're like, get back in the car. We're going somewhere else.
I need a safe space.
Yeah. Yeah. Stupid snowflakes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a whole different. But again, going back to the whole Kate steak thing, you got to take care of yourself if you're going to drink, especially when you get older. Like, eat something. Waffle Home is just we went there with the hockey players,
Yeah.
the hockey team. I can't remember if you
Oh, I
went with
bet you
us
they
that
were
time or
my.
not.
No, I didn't party with the hockey players because I worked with
That's true.
one of the house dads, and the last thing I wanted to do is, you know,
Yeah.
potentially get busted for something and being going to work going,
Yeah.
hey, you know what happened to your boys? Yeah, I was with them.
Yeah. Oops.
And I would have been getting in trouble because,
Zoik scoop.
yeah, I would have been getting in way more trouble.
Yeah.
So it's going back to the responsibility thing where it's like,
Yeah.
no, y'all have fun. I'll hang out.
Yeah, the
and chill.
environment of stuff. Like, go to the hockey games, but then after that, you know, we ended up at Waffle House at 2:00 several times. 2:30, 3
That's
o'clock.
fantastic.
Yeah,
Cannot be beaten.
yeah.
Now I really want Casa de Waffle.
It's right down. Like, let's wrap this up and go get some freaking Waffle House.
What's your take? Are you done talking
That's
yet?
that's
Or are we
what
gonna
I
go
have-
till 4 a.m.
That's
again?
what. Let's not, because that was way too late to talk that long. It was fine. Like I'm not upset. It was just
Yeah.
a very late night. Just good night. But yeah, that's the take. Like especially after you're college aged, right? Until you're probably like 22. Probably 22. After that, you're like, the only events, like social situations I'm going into is if I enjoy the people, the drinks I actually like, unless of course they're free. But even then, as you get older, you're like, I'm
Free drink. I'd rather just pay for one that I
not.
like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like your specials don't sound too special to me.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So Kay's take care of yourself after like 22. Like you have to. There's no way around. Otherwise you end up violently hungover like Aaron and like literally do nothing for the entire day.
I feel so bad because we really did not drink that much.
No. And then she decided she was going to drive home 5-6 hours today, and I was like, why would you not just stay here and
If and when you
sleep?
hear this, we're calling you out. So you got to
Yes.
run it back and prove that you're better.
Yeah.
Be better.
Yeah. Yes, this is totally throwing lots of shade here because it's fine. It's okay. We just did sleeping most of the day. And then I was asleep on the couch because she was just laying there. And I wake up, she's like, how was your nap? And I'm like, we were sleeping because you were sleeping. Like, I was ready to come do the podcast when you text me at like 11 a.m. It's fine. It's fine. Not the point.
Yeah. And Kate texts back saying, we haven't even had breakfast yet. Here I am, a half day in. Already did grocery
Yeah.
shopping, unloaded.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, laundry's done. House has been picked up for a little bit.
Yep.
As good as it's going to get this week.
Right?
Only
yeah.
thing I didn't do is mow because it's hot.
Yeah, and like you have tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, so we haven't even eaten breakfast yet, but that's okay. It's fine. It's okay.
And it all goes back to taking care of yourself.
We fed her nuggets. We tried. We fed her chicken nuggets. But
That was way,
I feel like it was early. The chicken nuggets were early, but that's
way too early.
that's the problem too though with Canyon is that McDonald's closes at 11, so you have to get chicken nuggets before then unless you're going to go all the way to Amarillo, which we did do the other weekend. But
And that happens a lot. Like the Loop. That's why the
Yeah.
restaurants on the Loop
yeah.
are goated compared to everywhere else, is because they get the college kids plus
The
this
truckers
side
and
of
everything else.
town.
Did you know that rumor
The
has
Muffin
it?
Man.
No, who lives on Drury Lane? Rumor has it that the donut stop in Canyon that shut down, they're turning it into a Whataburger.
I don't have an angry sound to press. I've been calling for this
I know.
since 2014.
I know. I was
Like-
talking to Keith about it the other day, and he was like, "A Whataburger would do so well
It would
in
kill.
Canyon. It would make a killing."
But the issue is the franchising
yeah,
to get it there.
Yeah.
That's what killed it many times.
yeah,
But or a 24-hour
anything,
establishment, or at least 2 a.m.
because the only thing open
Because
past
Taco Bell
11 is
closes
Taco
now.
Bell.
And they close at midnight now.
Yeah, the only thing past 11 is Taco Bell. They used to be open until 2, but yeah, the only thing in Canyon you can eat is Taco Bell unless you drive 15 minutes north to get to Amarillo to the Loop.
Man, I just miss Buffalo's. Because it would be all you could eat
Buffalo's
wings.
was the best.
They would get you all boozed up, and
Yeah.
you weren't supposed to get a to-go box, but they'd be like, hey, we have like 50 extra wings.
Yeah.
Take these home and get the party going.
Yeah.
We'll see you there in here in a little bit.
Yeah, Buffs was the best, which like none of the kiddos at WT now know about Buffs. They
No,
think
it's-
Buffs is the breakfast place
Or the burger joint.
or
yeah.
the burger joint, and it is not. Well, I guess it was technically Buffalo's.
It was, but everyone called it Buffs.
Yeah, it was Buffs. Thursday night karaoke's with the ag crew. It was a good
Wednesday
time.
night, open mic
Yep.
night.
Yep.
Tuesdays and Thursdays, it was all you can eat wings for like $12.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
let's rock and
Yeah.
roll. And they were
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
The food there was phenomenal.
Yeah.
The wait staff was phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a good time, but it's all right.
Yeah. The good old days.
Right? Yeah. It's glory days.
Got so messed up there one time I walked back to my apartment that was on the other side of Canyon.
That makes
To Canyon Creek. Yeah, so I had to walk
That's a
through
hot minute.
campus,
Yeah.
around the railroad tracks, like
Yeah.
onto Highway 60,
Yeah.
down a hill with the OG Alsops,
Yeah.
and then
That is updated. Did you know that?
I know
Yeah.
it's not the same.
I know.
They won't be getting any of my money now.
Boo.
And then I walked home, got there, and then woke up at 6 a.m. the next morning to go get my pickup before it got towed. Because they called me saying, hey, you got like 30 minutes, otherwise it's going to be towed. And I bargained for an hour just because I said I was walking.
Did you walk back?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god.
College kids, we were there.
That's so funny. Jeez.
The fall of 2016.
Yeah. That was a hot
But I
minute.
didn't drive. It's
That's
great.
the point, is to the not driving. Like Canyon is small, but like it would still take a hot minute to walk home.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Especially whenever I was messed up.
Yeah.
And it was...
Yeah, like maybe not the best. Did you go over the top of the overpass over Highway 60 straight over to the Allsops?
Yeah. Like, I ran across Highway 60. I walked across Highway 60 just completely trashed.
That's why I asked if you went on top of the overpass instead of like literally on the highway.
No, I was on the highway. So, like, I walked down Russell Long,
Right?
and then I turned right,
Yeah.
walked into the middle of the E-way,
But
because
that
there's
didn't
no...
have that didn't have a center divider at the time.
There was a center divider, but they didn't have the sidewalk on the side of the road.
Oh.
So I was walking in the right lane. And
If you drive
remember...
if you drive in Canyon, please just watch out for drunkards.
I do remember I signaled that I was going to the Hereford exit. I gave him the blinker.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, so then I went
Right.
under, around,
Right.
crossed it over by the Cimarron Apartments.
Or
and
did you
then-
do like the driving thing the whole time? You're just like, oh, here I go. Look.
No, I was kind of, I was walking, but I was always like every 5 steps turning my head around being like, hey, okay, no car coming. Oh, I strayed more into the middle of the road. You're going to look drunk, sober up. That's what I was sitting there
sober
telling
up?
myself.
Yeah.
You're going to look drunk, sober up.
Sober up. You're going to look drunk because you are drunk.
Yes.
Sober up.
Yes.
The good old days. I would die if I did that now.
And then, yeah, got there. Walked back the next morning.
You're like, I can try them and be there in 30, but I'm not going to lie. I still can't walk very good.
And adults also have more alternatives.
Oh, we
And
have way
kids
more,
now,
way more resources.
Because that was before Uber.
Yeah.
And Canyon didn't have a taxi service.
Yeah.
And all the homies, they were there with me.
Yeah.
And they
Well,
weren't
have,
waking up.
They have the scooter things now, which like they won't go
There's-
onto Highway 60, but it would have got you across campus.
Yeah. Well, and I could have went through town
Yeah.
and up because they're over at Canyon Creek, so they have to
Are they?
be over there somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that there's like a radius that
Mm-hmm.
they can go. I don't know a lot about them. I've never wrote them. But
Anyways, there's a ton of resources. Don't drink and drive.
yeah,
Don't walk in the
don't-
middle of highways.
don't be playing in the highway. Don't be drunk in the highway.
Mom, I traced cars in the highway like you told me to do whenever I was a kid, and
Yeah.
I won.
I won. Still haven't gotten me.
Anyways,
Anyway.
we were wrapping this up, and then squirrel.
Focus, squirrels. Get them all grouped back up.
That will be the sound. It'll just be a bunch of barking squirrels.
Yeah, that's what it should be. Anytime we just like, phew, there they go. But yeah, we'll press a button. It'll be fine. Kate's take care of yourself. If you are going to drink, don't drink and drive. There's always someone that you can call. I've told everyone that I know. I'm like, I don't care what time it is. Call me.
She's probably not asleep either.
I'm probably not asleep to begin with. So call me. I will come and get you. Any of you. It just might take a hot minute to get there, depending on where you are.
I'll be there in 8 hours.
Yeah,
Hold on.
or find a way, like you're saying with the resources, like find a way to get home where even if somebody is 8 hours away and they're like, Kate, I'm stuck, like I'm drunk, I can't, blah, blah, I can order you an Uber from here.
Yeah.
Like, so there's a lot of resources. Take care of yourself, take care of your homies. Have them eat, make them a liquid IV, get them water, take care of your homies, take care of yourself. Don't drink and drive. Kate's
Huddle
take.
up like a flamingo.
Yep.
Don't let one stray off and get lost.
Do not be a one-man wolf pack. No man left behind. The Pirates Guidelines. Pirates of the Caribbean. Pirates Code. Oh, and more guidelines. That's the end.
That's a good place to stop.
Goodbye.
If you or a loved one has been offended by any factual opinion that was expressed on this podcast, we sincerely do not care. Please feel free to send any comments, questions, concerns, or your own takes right to the garbage bin. In case that was too fast for you or it just went over your head, your take is trash. The only take that matters in this sphere is Kate's take.